Welcome to Rock Talk Lapidary, your podcast for everything rocks.
Coming to you every Thursday 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and tap that bell. Let's get rockin'.
Welcome to Rock Talk Lapidary, your place for everything rocks. We bring you some of Lapidary's most influential and creative people, just like you and me. I'm Kirsten Safford, your host. And before I bring on my amazing co-hosts, let me tell you how to enter our giveaways. You got to sign into YouTube and drop a comment, then stick around to the end of the show and find out how you can claim it if you win it. So right now, hit that thumbs up button and share this video out to everyone you know that loves rocks or lapidary. And just so you know, we meet here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time and 9 p.m. Eastern. Now let me introduce my amazing co-hosts. I'm going to start with Dave today. Welcome, Dave.
Whoa, I was not ready to be first. I'm kind of, Hey, how's everybody doing? How you doing, Kirsten?
I am doing amazing.
Yeah, I know. We haven't got to talk a whole lot in the last couple of weeks, a little bit on Facebook and stuff, so didn't get to catch up. So for those out there who don't know me, I'm Dave. We have a charity, Rock Tumblers for Autism. I'm one of the co-hosts of Rock Talk Lapidary. I also have an alter ego we call Rudy Rude that I like to play with a little bit. I'll watch his videos. It's just my fun way of pitching in and sharing some things. And looking forward to tonight. We got a dinosaur chaser going to be on the show, so I'm really excited. Oh, yeah.
Yes. I'm super excited as well. So next up is Courtney. Welcome, Courtney.
Hi, Dave.
Hey,
Hi,
Courtney.
Kristen. Hi, I'm Courtney King of CNS Services Cabs and Stones. I cut cabs. I sell slabs. I play with rocks. I lick rocks. I like to just share everything rock with you guys. I have a website. It's cabsandstones.com. I have a Facebook page, a business page, CNS Services LLC-Cabs and Stones. I sell on Facebook. I sell on the website, obviously. And I just love to do anything and everything that has to do with rocks.
Awesome. I love that. Next up, we have Matt Sams. Matt, welcome.
Hi, Matt.
Hey. Good to be here. I'm Matt. I got Redbeard's Rocks.
Okay. And we can get to Redbeard's Rocks on Facebook, right?
Yep. Facebook is the only place right now. It's kind of a aspiring page. Just getting it kicked off and started. As soon as I get my computer started here, we'll have a little bit of a better camera shot. But yeah, glad to be here. I do some cabbing. Phenomenal sales show on Tuesday, right? Sold a whole bunch of slabs to some folks and some other goodies. But yeah, I do some cabs and some slabs and fiddle around.
Very
We
nice.
like fiddlers.
Next up is Ryan Brown. Ryan.
Ryan.
Raccoons. I'm Ryan. Me and my little brother Andrew, we run Glacier Bros. We sell slabs and rough live on Facebook 5 nights a week. We have a lot of fun. You can learn something too. You could always learn something from our shows. Other than that, I'm super excited for tonight. By the way, hello,
Me too.
my lovely people. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Nice.
Good.
And last but not least is Brad.
Brad.
Brad, JBB Rocks.
Yeah, JBB Rocks on Facebook. I'm a sphere maker. We sell everything rock related pretty much. Cut and polish stones, I dabble in a little bit of rough, not like Ryan does, but I have a little bit kicking around once in a while. But mostly spheres. That's what I really like to do. I like to make a lot of spheres and I enjoy doing it. So follow us on Facebook. We do live shows every Sunday night.
Yes. And you have some live shows coming up, don't you?
I've got one coming up this Sunday. And then next week, I'm at the big Wasatch Gem Show in Salt Lake City. I'll be down there for 3 days. So one of those 3 days, we're going to pick a day at a time and do a live show direct from the Wasatch Gem Show. So that'll be kind of exciting.
That'll be super exciting.
And that's in the West Jordan or South Jordan Fairgrounds?
It's the South Jordan. What used to be the old Salt Lake County Fairgrounds is now something with the USU. I can't remember what they call it, but they use it as a part of the school now.
Sorry guys, him and I are both from Utah, and so we we know. So before we bring on our very special guest guest tonight, I would like to share with you how to enter our drawing. So what you got to do is you got to go into the comments. You got to say hi, how you doing? Or leave us a comment of where you are. We will keep track of the names as they come in. And then at the very end of the show, we will be doing the giveaway. And I just want to show real quick, this is Courtney's turn for doing the giveaway. And you can see you're going to get some stickers. You're going to get a logo sticker, which is really awesome because they are waterproof. So, you can stick it on a water bottle, carry it around with you. There are some really nice cabs here that she has made. You get a little brass keychain that measures in millimeters, and you get a piece of Veracite and a piece of fluorite that are in the rough. So very, very cool giveaway.
Would you like cab?
Yeah, I saw that cab right away.
The purple one is amazing. The color in it is so vibrant. The picture did not do it justice. And then at the end of the show tonight, before we do our big giveaway for the week, we're going to talk about each of our giveaways that we're doing for those co-hosts that want to participate. I'm hoping everything is going well tonight as far as being broadcast out onto YouTube. So I'm going to go look into that really quick, and I'll let these guys talk for just a minute, and then I'll do the spotlight for tonight.
Okay.
Give me just a minute, guys.
Yeah.
She's gonna put us all on the spot here tonight and see if we're on our toes.
So, guys, like Kirsten said, these stickers, these Rock Talk Lapidary stickers that we have, you can buy them if you want one, or 10, or 20.
Buy the whole 100.
Several of it, $2 each, or if you buy 10 or more, they're $1.75 each, and you want to just email rocktalklapidary@gmail.com, and Kirsten will either take care of it herself or refer you to one of us to get you some stickers. Other than that, as always, we'd appreciate it if you would hit the like, the subscribe, share us out, invite your friends.
Somebody really wants to buy 100.
Anybody.
Make sure that you guys have the bell on.
Rocks.
Please. The bell's
Have what?
important.
Yes,
Have the bell
turn
on.
that
Make
bell
sure you guys
on. The
have
bell
the
is
bell on.
very important.
Yeah, it does. It gives you like a 15-minute alarm before the show starts, which is awesome. I just checked. It looks like everything's good to go on YouTube. The comments are coming in there. So Ryan, Andrew will probably have to be logged on onto there to see them.
Yep,
I'm going to monitor them as closely as I can. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to share them. For some reason tonight, we were just having an issue with our broadcast. So I do apologize for that, but very exciting. We do have some interesting things I want to talk about with Mark, our guest. But before we do that, I would love to share with you our spotlight. And let me bring up that information here. So I'm going to make me big real quick for a second. If I can figure it out. It'll make me big. I'm doing it wrong, Courtney. Help.
No, not me. You want me to make you
me
big?
big.
Hold on.
Make me big.
I got you. There you go, big girl.
Oh, thank you. I never thought I'd like to be called that, but
Poor
it's
Brad,
okay.
you're so small.
As in, big girl panties. know.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. So one thing also, if you are listening to this on the replay or on Spotify, thank you very much. Please drop comments and let us know that you're watching, and we will definitely put your names in for a drawing at the end of the season. But so tonight our spotlight is Clay Pockets, spelled with a Z. He is a crystal miner and a new friend of mine. I met him on TikTok, of all places. That is an interesting place as far as the rock world is concerned. I know that Mark is very big over there. Clay Pockets is not quite as big as Mark, but he does have quite a big following. In the morning times, let me tell you, he is a crystal miner. He goes all around the West Coast, Colorado, Arizona, and California, and digs crystals. And then he gets on TikTok in the morning and shows and demonstrates how to clean them. And then in the afternoon, he sells. One of the funnest things... I don't know what that was all about.
I don't know.
So one of the funnest things about that is that you get to see the start to completion of the crystals. And I would like to share with you. So he does these amethyst crystals. Hopefully you can see a little bit of that purple color. These are very, very light lavender. There's not really too much deep purple in these. But he dug those in San Bernardino, California. And then these ones came from Inyo County, California. These.
Nice.
But my favorite that I have from him so far is this beautiful display piece.
Wow. It's not smoky.
And to just listen to him and the stories that he tells, he's a pretty interesting cat. So that's why I wanted to share him tonight. And you can find him only on TikTok. Let's see, moving on. Do you guys have any other things you want to talk about before we bring on Mark?
Yeah, I just wanted to take a minute to say that tonight I've noticed that you are really big on the word big. Just something I noticed.
But I'm smaller. It's okay.
You know what Kirsten's thinking in her head, right? Leave it to Dave.
Uh-huh.
How am I going to get him back? That's what I'm thinking.
Anyway.
Have fun.
Absolutely. Can always.
You guys ready? You ready to party?
Let's rock. Let's rock.
I'm ready for my buddy Mark.
Rocks.
There he is.
What's up, brother?
Hey, Mark.
Hello,
Hello.
Courtney. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Appreciate
How's it
it.
going, Mark?
Let's make him big.
Good, very good.
Mark looks way younger than the last time I seen him.
Took 2 years off.
I
He
am not
did.
any younger, though.
There we go.
Sorry.
I almost
giddy.
thought Kirsten screwed up on the thumbnail advertising. When I seen your picture, I was like, "That's not the Mark I know."
Oh, today earlier I was.
Spring has sprung, and so has Mark.
Oh, that TikTok video that you duetted with me was perfect.
That was awesome.
I was shocked.
Fantastic.
I was
so hard I
shocked. You guys,
cried.
if you're not following him, Mark, what is your TikTok handle?
Different seasons jewelry. If you just do a search hashtag different seasons jewelry, I'll come up. Like all you got to do is that, and plenty of my stuff will pop up, and it'll be easy to determine who I am.
Nice.
Okay, I am going to step out for a few minutes while you guys chit chat so I can watch the comments real quick.
So, Mark, tell us something about yourself. Tell us about your business or whatever it is.
I am an earthling. I have lived on this planet for a little while.
Nice.
I'm relieved to hear the earthling
That
part.
is good to know. Yeah.
I hear it's flat. I have not walked off the edge of it yet. I've tried, but I've traveled a bit. Love dinosaurs, love rocks, love art. Yeah, so kind of bring a lot of different art forms together with what I do. I can't say I'm really stuck in one little thing. For the most part, though, I'm probably best known for petrified dinosaur bone and petrified dinosaur bone jewelry. But I play with all sorts of stuff, glow in the dark, magnets, dinosaur bone. I love petrified fossils, period. Recently came across some really nice Indonesian petrified palm, Indonesian petrified coral, petrified clams, anything that's colorful and was once upon a time an organic creature that is now a fossil remains trapped in a mineral colorful cast or something like that is probably the peak interest for me when it comes to something for me to work with. Love woods that are current as well. Yeah. Play with hand engraving, casting, pretty much almost any form of making something I am interested in if I have not done it yet already.
So I am going to toot Mark's horn for him a little bit since he doesn't do it when he's on here. If you want to see the most beautiful dinosaur bone cabs in the world, go look up Mark's material. I'm telling you, you will never find anything better than what he's put together. And there are some techniques that Mark pioneered in the way that he does them and the coatings to put on and the way to stabilize them or whatever they need. Mark has helped pioneer some of that, and I'm telling you, they're phenomenal.
Thank you, Dave.
Nice.
The goal's always been to treat the material like it's sacred. I mean, it took over 140 million years for it to get to us, and why throw some super glue on it and try to get it done in 5 minutes when it took over 140 million years? I can wait a couple weeks to do it right and make it last way longer and make sure it doesn't yellow because of sun exposure. And yeah, I've spent a lot of time with trial and error trying to figure stuff out, and I put information out to hopefully benefit the community that plays with it.
Tell you what, I work with mine on. I do everything gemstone related. I'm inside saws with it on. It's perfect. Like I bang it on everything. It's great. I love it.
Glad you enjoy it.
So Mark, do you try to keep your technique a secret, or is it something that you're pretty open with as far as how you treat your bone and work it?
I'm pretty open with that. That I'm extremely open with. What I have started doing though is in the jewelry world, I've kind of trickled information out now when it's new to me. And like the first year or two, sometimes I don't release information on what I'm currently doing because I have had some manufacturers do some of what I'm doing. And I then see it and I'm like, I don't have millions of dollars behind me to push out whatever and, 30 workers to push my work out. So I have kind of become guarded with some stuff, but when it comes to treating dinosaur bone, I've been very free with that information. And it's one of those things too, where to really appreciate this stuff. I mean, when I first started buying it, there's a lot of unknowns, and the dinosaur bone world was really kind of protected of information, whether it was, I get certain information being protected, like, where you found something, whether it's agates or a mineral or something. A lot of people want to protect their claims, or when they find a new source material, that's understandable. But when it comes to how to treat and work stuff up, that to me is another thing where it's like, there's I don't know. I guess a lot of people look at other people as competition, and I do my own thing, and if people want to buy it, that's cool. If I do stuff different than a lot of other people, but if somebody wants to learn how I treat bone to make it last and not have issues in the future and why I do it, then that information is free and available on YouTube. You don't have to pay for it. I'll be updating that information really soon because I've learned a lot since I've last posted videos about it, and it needs an update currently.
Well, and the things that you do, Mark, are really, they're personal to you, and the pieces that you make. Would you want a factory with 30 people pushing that stuff out for you?
It depends. Like, there's certain things where I look at things different than I think a lot of other people. I think if I I plan on growing things and eventually having employees, but I'll still have my one-of-a-kind pieces that I do and I have my hands on. But it would be nice to be able to provide an income for people, to able to help people out, to help people grow in their artistic ways. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Carl Fabergé, but he had a huge community working for him. And each person specialized in their own thing. And even though Fabergé had his name on it, Fabergé had a lot of different people working for him. And he basically showcased everyone's specialty. And I think if I ran a company, and I've tried to get employees over time, one of my issues is I'm pretty perfectionistic. So if I teach something and like you aren't there, and I'm in a really small area, so it's not like I'm, at a city where I have, 1 million people and, a pool of like, let's say 500 to choose from that want to work for me. I'm not in an area that's big. So for me to find people to do what I do in my area, it's not as easy as I would like it to be. But I wouldn't mind having certain things and certain, I get the personal thing with people when it comes to that. But I also look at things, like I said, a little different. There will always be my one-of-a-kind stuff, but I wouldn't mind having certain things pumped out to, like I said, help the community. Like I'll be preparing soon to do garbage cleanup, and it would be nice to have, a big group of pooled prizes, for a company that I run. Like, let's say I had $1 million where I could do something and really promote a cleanup around the earth and like get more and more and more people involved. To me, that's better. And again, I would still grasp on my own personal art within what I do. But like, I look at so many things, I have some really interesting clients, and I'm not going to say names when it comes to some, like one of my clients sends me some name brand stuff, and basically he has me tear it apart and then I put his stones in it. So this particular maker is well known. I like I said, I'm not going to say the name, but I've seen so many of this particular person. They're considered high end. I've seen so much of their work done from different factories. And again, like if I did it, it would be here in the US, like provide jobs in my area. I wouldn't be doing things outside of the country. I would be doing things here in my own community. Again, like I'm not against other countries' stuff, but I think that there's too much undercutting in business where it's like, and again, I go back to this maker that I've been working on, pulling their stuff out and putting, my client's stones in it, cutting stones for him and basically making it more personal for him. And I've seen cut corners in so many areas where like there's $500 to $1,000 they're charging for these sterling silver rings that I'm redoing for my client. And I just kind of am mind blown sometimes when I see corners that are cut when it comes to that. In the silver world, the silver isn't much. So when you take that into consideration, you have like $5, $10 of silver, you have overseas labor. So he's like, there's a high profit margin. Now he has celebrities wearing his stuff, so he's paying for marketing in that end of things. But when it comes to the bottom line and how much good he's doing within our country, and like, again, like it's just a matter of like, there's so many aspects of things where you could do much more good in certain ways at the base where you are. And it seems like everybody's cutting costs and not promoting things to make things better around them. I'm not saying that I don't want things better around the world, period, but I would like to better things around me in my own community as well and make it like spur off from there. And I'll do what I can with what I do as is online to try to promote things. That makes sense.
Yep, absolutely.
Hopefully that answers
So I don't want to dominate
it.
this. Who else has questions for Mark? Or Mark, do you have something particular you want to talk about?
Anybody else shoot questions and I can go from there, and then we can lead off after that. Let's Courtney, you weren't here last time. How do you have anything you're curious about?
Like I'm curious about all of it. Like all of it. you as a person, you strike me as just your whole attitude about life in general and just all of it, I think is phenomenal. Um, how do we make it better? How do we as individuals start
It's
those kind of
once
movements? Any of it, anything
one
that we're
one step.
doing, right? One step at a
Yeah.
time, right?
One step at a
Um,
time. One step at a time. And when you see people doing good, promote it.
right.
Like that's I think one of the cruxes of social media. We had a conversation before this podcast started about how like there's so much negativity promoted online and on social media. And it's like, well, how am I promoting positive creators? Am I
Right.
promoting the positive people within my community, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok? What am I promoting? Am I promoting fear? Am I promoting ways to make the world a better place? Am I promoting something that'll make somebody smile?
Right.
Am I going to make somebody's day better, or am I going to make them fearful and think the world's going to end tomorrow because of whatever? There's so many things going on in the world, and we're in a echo chamber of like all these things coming at us, and it's like, well, if I'm going to be in that echo chamber, I'm going to try to send something positive out within that chamber. Like,
Right.
like
Yep.
what
I
we all
agree with
need
that.
more positivity, and it helps your own headspace too when you do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And it doesn't cost anything. It costs $0 to be kind. $0.
it doesn't.
$0 to help people.
I will say though, there are times where it feels like it costs everything to be kind.
Yeah.
We
That's
all have
true.
those
That's
experiences
true.
when
Yeah, we
somebody
do.
and
do.
those are the most important times. And I know that we all think we skip over that sometimes. When somebody's rude to us, it's easy to be rude back. And I'm
It-
guilty of it, and I just work on being better about it all the time. We all have our days, but that's where things are, whether it's online or and right now. So I've been off Instagram and Facebook and Facebook Messenger completely since the beginning of April. And I haven't really posted to TikTok either. I did today. I duetted Kirsten's video, but other than that, I have not. I've been trying to like kind of refocus things right now and think about how I want to present, because it's easy to do. For TikTok, it's easy to do reactionary videos in a way for me. It can be easy to do viral things in a more like grab people's attention and either in a negative way or something like that. And I think it's not, I'm shifting towards, let's do more teaching, let's do more positive stuff, and let's see if let's make that go viral instead. Because I don't see any reason why I can't promote art in a more positive way. And I may still do some sly remarks here and there, but for the most part, I think I'm going to start taking things more and more in the direction of like positivity and try to push things that way. I also on TikTok, hopefully it sticks around, but I'm going to be doing more YouTube and TikTok. That's one thing I've kind of decided recently. And with TikTok, they now have a new format for, going over a minute, where they're going to pay 20 times more for creators for the content that gets watched. And, when I first joined TikTok, that was one of my negatives with it. Me and my wife had a talk about it, where I'm like, I don't like the 7-second, let's catch your attention and like keep your attention span low. But TikTok has been shifting more and more towards, good information and longer information. It seems like, for me, I don't tend to gravitate towards a 3-second video or a 5-second video. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are certain things you see with animals or this or that are funny and they're quick. But
Yeah.
for me, I don't want a quick dopamine hit and run. That's what social media does to us, and that's how they keep us hooked. It's all about the dopamine. So whether it's on our Facebook feed and, getting into a fight with somebody on social media to try to get dopamine going in people, or, it's a matter of like trying to get those hits to us. I worked at a casino before I did this full time, and again, that's dopamine too. So we all have our way to react, and so my thought process again has been going towards, well, how do we do more positive things and get more positive out there? How do we create more positive dopamine type reactions with people that let them think and get them to sit and for me, art I've seen pull people out of some really desolate circumstances. I look at art in a lot of different ways, where art can be healing. Art can be so many things. And, in the rock world, I also joke about the whole crystal healing, because, there's the crystal healers out there, and then there's the naysayers who crystals don't. Well, I don't know where the science, right now the science is very negligent on us showing anything towards it healing for the most part. But there's placebo effects, so if that helps somebody, whatever. But
absolutely,
my little thing with that is quartz is what we use to keep perfect time. So it does vibrate, and there are vibrations from crystals, and there are some things that we have not been able to measure over time, and then science catches up. So I'm not going to crap on somebody's belief when it comes to that, or I'm not going to say that for sure it is what it is. But like I said, I think there's a lot out there that we don't know, and just have fun and let people do what they do if it doesn't harm anyone.
Absolutely. So I'm going to jump in here for a second into the big box, and I'm going to put Mark on the side for just a brief moment. I want to encourage anyone who is watching with us today. We have so many people commenting, and that is beautiful. I want to encourage you guys, if you can, if you want to, if you feel led to teach, to start a TikTok, start a YouTube. If you need to contact me for help, I would love to help you get started. But one of the things I wanted to do today while we have Mark here is I just want to show off some of his artwork. He is such a talented artist. And I'm going to start with this right here. I don't know. Can you guys see that? Okay. This is a pastel Gembone that he made into a pendant for me with his signature back. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay. He also made matching drop style earrings to go with it. These are absolutely gorgeous. And then he went ahead and did the signature on the back. That is just so amazing. But one of the things that he was doing for a bit, and that is these glow in the dark gembones made of spider webbed bone. Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully you can see that. I just barely charged it for half a second, you guys.
Yeah.
For half a second.
Wow.
Super bright, isn't it?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool.
It is one of the coolest things I own. And here's another thing that he's making is these balls made out of copper pennies.
Oh, neat.
Oh, that's really cool.
I don't know. The camera's not really picking everything up so well. And then he sent me some really awesome fire agates from Arizona that you polished. You can feel the bumps on them. So he got in there to get the color to show. I'm not even going to bother trying because, we don't have time and you guys can't see it. So, but I'd like to know, Mark, we have a person asking what's the best media to use for polishing Gembone after 3000 grit?
I don't even take it to 3000 grit. I take it to 1200, and then I go to cerium oxide on felt. But it depends on what finish you want. Okay, so I do cerium oxide on felt, but what that will do is it'll give you a glass finish on the bone. If the felt's really soft, it's going to give undercutting on the webbing. So I kind of like the scaly look you can give dinosaur bone where it has a texture. And the webbing will undercut just a little, so it has almost like a lizard texture. So to me, I really like that look. If you don't want that look, if you want just it to be as flat and polished as possible, where there's as little undercutting on the webbing as possible, then I would go to, I've done this for clients as well because I do a lot of custom work. I do 1,200. You can do 3,000. Then I then take it to 14,000 and then 50,000. But I do wood. I charge wood spools. So I had some custom wood wheels made. You can do hard leather. That will also work.
Yeah, I use hard leather.
Yes. So basically, you want your polishing carrier to be a hard surface that doesn't give, unlike felt, which is going to dig into the dinosaur bone webbing. So if you want it to be a flat polish where you have as little undercutting of the webbing as possible, you want to eliminate that.
So would you
Zam
use
also
walnut?
works somewhat. Walnut
Sorry.
4.
I'm asking for the wooden things that you taught me how to make for polishing.
The
would
wood?
you use walnut is a
walnut would
hardwood,
work.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
walnut will work.
Pretty hard material.
Sorry.
Walnut, maple. I was told, what was the one I was told to begin with? I use maple for the most part. Walnut, I've done oak. Almost most woods will work. You don't want pine. You don't want really soft woods that are going to break up easy. So basically, you want the wood to hold together. That's the most important thing, which is why hardwoods work really well for that.
Hardwoods.
So
Okay.
I just want to let everyone know. That we have comments back, so we will be posting comments on the screen. As your questions come up, please ask questions. We want to help you answer anything.
Oh, Julie's
that you
ship
need.
just had a good one. Do you ever work dino bone as doublets or triplets?
I saw that one.
I know
Yes.
the answer.
yes, doublets, triplets, quadruplets. Probably, what would you call 5? I see that probably coming up soon too.
Quintuple.
So you're making something like a set of die, or are you just making geometric shapes with 5 sides?
So doublets, I cap bone a lot of times.
Right, which would be a typical.
Basically, what Churston just showed was doublet. Actually, that actually kind of, would you call that a triplet because of the UV
Glow?
paint
I
on the
think you
the phosphorescent paint on the very bottom?
I think
So
you
that
did.
would technically be, I think, considered a triplet because there's 3 layers to that.
Okay. You're just
So
talking
you
about
have
how many layers, not
Yes,
how many
layers.
Yes.
pieces of the shape. Okay.
Yes. So with the one she showed, there was that particular one, there was a glass dome on top, and then a very thin layer of spiderweb bone, and then some phosphorescent paint mixed with, it's a phosphorescent pigment mixed with Hextol. And the phosphorescent pigment I use is from Stuart Semple, and it is the brightest. I tried a bunch of different glow-in-the-dark pigments, and it easily blew everything else away. And they have multiple colors. It's wonderful stuff. Culture Hustle, Stuart Semple, look in their glow-in-the-dark stuff. That's where I get mine. Easily the best stuff out there I've come across, and I purchased I don't know how many brands. And the other thing too is when I first started playing with that stuff, the other brands, I guess it's a 12-year lifespan where the glow-in-the-dark stuff starts to have issues, and I'm not sure how it dies or what the issue is after that. But the Stuart Semple stuff will last forever from everything that I know about it, and it's great. Absolutely beautiful glow. I mean, Churston, I'm guessing when she lights it up, she can turn off her light, and basically I know that when I charge the stuff, I can use it kind of like as a flashlight to look at the floor. It glows so
Wow.
bright. It's
Wow.
unbelievable.
I'm going to show you guys. So here it is. This is the back. Okay. This is the front. And 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Look at that.
Wow.
So bright.
I mean,
you
Look
can
even
at
with
how
the
that-
light,
Look at that.
Yeah, even with the light on. Yeah, that's crazy.
Daylight. Yeah.
You just
Yeah,
opened
the
a
stuff
whole
is-
new world for me in cabbing, Mark.
it's great. Oh, the other thing is when I first started playing with glow in the dark, I was going to quit because I found the lifespan on it. And I was like, 12 years, that I'm trying to make stuff to last forever, as long as possible. And 12 years just didn't fit within my frame of what I expect things to do. And I was going to quit. And then that same year, Stuart Semple came out with the first one. And it was like a green. It was like a really like the usual tannish kind of glow in the dark off white. And then after that, he released one that did blue, I think, and then it was yellow, and then it was hot pink. So there's 4 different colors of this stuff now, and it's the pink and the yellow are neon before you make them glow in the dark. It just absolutely great stuff. So if you want to play around with glow in the dark, you love glow in the dark, it's perfect.
The problem is you're talking a lifetime, and most of us are bored with something in 30 minutes.
Yeah, but some of us have kids, and glow in the dark stuff's great. I mean, I
think
don't know.
It's a great idea.
No, it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever thought about incorporating that like into a coin carving, like carving a coin?
I have actually. I have actually done that. I did it into a morel mushroom.
Oh, awesome!
So the little divots in the morel I filled with the pink glow in the dark.
They're like mythical beings where I live. You just find them and you're like, no! I still haven't tried one. 6 years. Still haven't tried one.
I still haven't found them, but I have tried them. They're in my area, but I have not found them yet.
A mushroom freak. I love mushrooms.
I found chaga this year.
Oh, did you? That's awesome.
Yes.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to hear about your walks.
I had to climb a tree to get that.
Oh, cheers. Mushroom
it was not easy.
It looked like it was pretty far up there too, huh, Mark?
It was. I don't know if it was like 20, 25 feet. It was up there. I didn't have a ladder. It was way in the woods. I basically took some tie-down straps for cars, for trucks, tying down a load, and basically attached some steps to them and attached them to the tree and used them to get up there. It's starting to get warm, and with chaga, you have to harvest before it gets above freezing. So, for maximum medicinal benefits, I was on my last day. And so I was like, well, I got to do this quick. I don't have time to like order stuff to properly do this. So I just did it that way. And yeah, my wife was concerned. I tend to kind of go all out when I do stuff. So I safely got it and safely got down.
Awesome.
Wow.
Dang.
So as for the walks, Ryan, this I think goes back to anyone with art and everything else. On my walks, this is kind of one of those things where you find your own headspace and ideas. And, as an artist, some people, and myself included, we worry about running out of ideas. And you need to have a headspace where you can kind of clear out. When I do my walks, it is completely silent, besides the noise around me. I don't have headphones on with music blaring. I just go out in the morning, from 5 a.m. to 6, 7 a.m. I do it before the kids are up and stuff. Now I'm seeing geese. Saw 2 swans the other day. Second time I've seen swans in this area since I've been here. It's nice, it's nice to connect with nature, 2, just a nice peaceful time early in the morning to start your day and just, see the world around you. And, back to the echo chamber, having that time where you see what is real, what is in front of me, what is here, what is now, what is affecting me on this daily basis in my environment. Is a goose going to try to chase me down and kill me, or is it just going to get mad and stay in the water and squawk at me or fly away?
Right.
But too, it's also really interesting too. I think one of the craziest things, I maybe never paid as much attention to it as I have this last year. And, at the end of last year and this year, I started this. But water and how it freezes, you have some really weird structures. And, to me, I've seen agates that have some really weird triangular patterns and stuff, lattice agates and stuff. And now I'm seeing a lot of things with water freezing and how it freezes. You have stalactites where the water drips. You have
like
stalagmites
sometimes too.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. There's so many things where it's like plume, and it's like how much of this translates to how a lot of what we see in rocks when it comes to, different formations and stuff. How water is the big transmission with silica and stuff when it comes to agates, and the various carriers and trace elements that are in it to color agates in the various formations. But with plumes, fractures, and various other things, it's just really interesting, on the walks, seeing different life forms and everything. And again, just things to kind of help get the creative juices flowing. What I see in nature can sometimes translate to my work.
Have you
M.
found
Wilson
any
just
of
had a
those?
good question. I'm sorry to cut you off, Matt. We just had somebody ask a question that she put up on the screen. M. Wilson said, "What kind of drip system do you use while cutting fire agate?"
For fire agate, for the most part, I need to do something a little different for a drip system. Basically, once I have things shaped for fire agate, so hold on. Let's see if we can see this right here. So here's a fire agate that I've worked on somewhat. So after I have it shaped to where I want it shaped, basically the shaping step is where I'm using water. After that, after this step where I have it shaped the way I want to, I go pretty much exclusively to wood points that I shape, and then I charge with diamond. And I can shape them any shape I want. It's super cheap to do it. There's so many bits out there that I just found do not compare to just being able to do your own bits with wood. It's really simple to do. It's super cheap. You can shape them to any shape, and you charge them with the diamond compound. I use Mount Mist diamonds. His compounds, Tom Hayes compounds, are absolutely great. They're the best diamond compounds I've come across. And I just work it like that. Try not to let things get hot. You pay attention to what you're doing. You pay attention to how hot your stone is. If you can have your finger on it when you're working it, you don't want to use really high RPMs because the friction's going to be right in that spot. But move things around, and then, after that, I wash it off. And before I move to the next step, wash it really good to make sure all the diamonds off of it. And then I move to the next step. But for the most part, my water drip is the very, very beginning. So I'll actually start on my cabbing machine sometimes if there's a big chunk of chalcedony over this, that, the white cloud. That's what I think of it as.
Yeah,
I carve that away as much as I can with, saw blades. On my lapidary machine, I don't have it set up this way anymore, but I need to change everything again. I had a diamond saw blade, and then I had my first sintered diamond wheel, and I would use that diamond saw blade on my lapidary machine and carve things away. So it was on my machine and not part of my saw. I had a saw too, but I used that because with the diamond saw blade, you can actually sit and carve in areas too as well and get closer before you start using the bits.
Right.
And you'll cut a lot of time by simply doing that before you go to the carving step of the diamond sintered bits and before you move on to the wood. So that's kind of my technique for going through the various things for fire agate.
Never would have thought of
That's
using a
some
saw
really
blade.
good information. I tend to shy away from fire agates because it's so tedious, and
Oh, it is.
I don't have quite that much patience. I used to try and do them. Before it gets too late here, I want to show some of your pictures of your work. You guys ready for some pictures?
Yeah, let's see them.
I'm excited.
We love seeing Mark's work.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll just go through
Fire
them real
agate.
quick. Okay.
Fire agate mixed with art. Petrified palm, Indonesian.
That's really cool. That's
That is
really
cool.
cool.
Structure in there was
Oh my God.
The dinosaur bone.
Yeah. That's
My favorite.
I
beautiful.
love how it transitioned on
Good
that piece from
Lord.
spider web to
Oh,
Yes.
that coral.
opalescent
Coral.
cells.
Is that
Yep,
Indonesian
coral? Yes, it is.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, what? This is some type of wood,
What
right?
is
Phenomenal.
that?
That is petrified palm, Indonesian.
Oh my
Best
gosh.
piece I have ever seen, and it's now mine.
I
There
would
you
have
go.
kept
Right.
that
Yeah, I
one for
wouldn't.
sure.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't
have
touch
sold that.
that. Yeah.
Crazy
Wow.
piece.
In this over there?
Gorgeous. Good Lord. Oh, that's pretty
More
too.
petrified palm.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I like that one more. I like
I
that one.
don't.
That one's crazy. You know, both of those pieces they resemble dinosaur bone in a lot of ways. So
Yeah.
they're really
Yeah.
kind of
They're
oddballs for
beautiful.
petrified palm.
Man, how it goes from being lattice to that opal core, or is it chalcedony, whatever it is, to having eyes and fortification. It's just insane.
Right.
That's
Right.
insane.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Crazy.
Oh, that's
There
pretty.
you go.
The ring you made.
Kentucky agate. That's what that's the client I was telling you about where I do his
Okay.
basically their designer ring where he has me swap out the stones and throw something else in. That's a Kentucky agate
Right.
of his that
It's
he
gorgeous.
had me set, and I did inlay style, so I recut everything. He had somebody else cut it, and it wasn't quite up to quality standards for me, so I redid everything and then created a
Wow.
setting and everything for the ring. But beautiful Kentucky
Nice.
agate,
Yeah.
Very unique.
What is
chaga.
Oh. Yeah.
That was in the tree.
He worked for that one, y'all. He worked for that one.
Nice. Ah, how cute is that?
Oh wow, love that.
That would be a penny.
Great. That's great.
Wow.
Awesome.
And then the next two are something you're currently working on, right?
Yep. That is currently in my vise right now. I now have all the gold in it, and I am going over the gold basically under the microscope, making sure it fills the gaps completely, and then I'm burnishing over it so it's a nice shiny lines.
Nice.
Sorry, you sent that
Nice.
to me today, and I couldn't help but share. I was like, guys,
Yeah.
look at this.
Right.
That's actually going to be a glow in the dark piece.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Wow,
So-
And
That'd be
this
awesome.
one too. This one is so cool.
Yep, that's another really. That one's gonna have a really. That one's I got 22 karat gold on the side,
Oh,
and
wow.
a piece of dinosaur bone with a quartz cap is going in it. Grail bone, people call it, from that particular
Nice.
find, and
Pieces.
it's got a really pretty yellow eye that's just in this. It's in the like top middle of it. It's an
Right.
absolutely phenomenal, like neon orange with yellow, black webbing, beautiful piece of bone.
Great. I can't wait to see that final product. That'll be beautiful.
So that one's got a long ways to go. There's 24 karat gold going to be inlaid in that, and then the eye is going to be a cat's eye tourmaline green. Yeah,
Wow.
that one should be a knockout when it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's
At
fantastic.
least that's my goal.
Like that's
How many
just so
hours do you have?
cool. Go
How
ahead.
many hours do you
I-
have in something like that?
I don't know. What I was doing to try to figure it out was recording everything I did, and then I was trying to cut it down. The last one I actually recorded everything on. It was a triceratops that I did with 24 karat gold inlay. It had a hessonite garnet for the eye. I ground the eye on the back of the eye, so this is the front bulge of the eye. I ground a divot into the back of it and put glow in the dark in it, so the eye glue in the dark as well. But that one took, God, what was it? I only timed the engraving work, and I want to say it was like 60 hours or something.
Wow.
Wow.
But
Wow.
I did not time the cutting the bone, doing the design up on, Procreate, like all the design. Doing the actual design took me a while itself to draw up the triceratops the way I wanted, looking at different pictures online, trying to find something. The shows I go to, whenever there's dinosaurs, I take pictures of them for reference so that I can use for my headspace and be like, okay. Yeah. So it varies. I haven't really timed it though. It's like a lot of times, like the last two pieces you showed, I swap in between one and the other, and then I have like 3 other things I'm working on right now too. So I swap things. So with the inlay, when I'm doing certain things make my hand tired at a certain rate, and it's like, okay, well, I need to take a break from that so I can then do this technique now. So I'll swap this piece out, go into this one. Or like with pieces like that too, sometimes the metal work is completely different step from the stone work. So capping the stone, cutting the cap for the stone, prepping the stone for the cap, all those things take time.
Yeah.
The one you showed with the 24 karat gold inlay, the dinosaur bone itself, let me see, it might be within reach. Here it is. So let me see. I do not have a UV light close. Anyway, let's see how well this shows here. So this is, let me see. I have a phone here so I could watch for comments. Let's see if I can get this light up good. This is weird. So you can see that has hot pink, bright yellow. This, when it glows in the dark, it shows blue, green, yellow, pink. So this is the bone that is going in that. And this is the back, that neon yellow I was telling you about that's glow in the dark. So this, I don't know, again, I didn't time myself how long it took me to, cut the stone, make the dinosaur bone thin enough to be able to display the way I wanted to, then to color it the way I did this round. So a lot of times I kind of fly completely blind sometimes with customs when I have an idea in my head and a client wants something particular. And sometimes I'll say, hey, I have this idea that I haven't done yet. Are you interested? And if it's somebody I've worked with, usually I do this more than anything else. But now my customs there's no new customs coming in at this point. I've kind of cut everything off. But then it's basically me trying stuff out and trying to figure out how to do it. So again, don't know how much time went into that one. I wiped the back of that bone clean once to start over. There's actually one of the cells I put opal behind it, so there's a little flash of opal in one spot. I put a little piece of amylite in one spot, so there's also a cell that has an amylite flash. So that's like multiple things going on. And then sapphire capped and all of that's going in that. The back still needs to be done. So right now I'm going to be mimicking dinosaur bone cells with glow in the dark for the back as well. And that'll surround the Allosaurus skull in the back. So there's still a lot of work that needs to go into that piece. How many hours I'll have in the end, I have no idea.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing, Mark.
It would be easier for me if I kept stopwatches, but I would have to label them because usually, like I said, I'm working on too many things at once to try to, and I think that's too where I'm starting to lean more and more towards getting away from customs, except with certain people that I've worked with in the past, because I really like doing things that take a lot of time. And I don't necessarily know how much time they take, but a lot of times when I do commissioned work, I'll do extra because I want things to look a certain way. And if I know somebody only has a certain budget, but in my head, I'm like, it's like 1, 2, 3 hours more. I like them, whatever, and I tend to get caught up that way sometimes. Or you've waited a while for your custom piece from me. And then I'm like, well, I wanted to do that anyway. They've been patient. They haven't harassed me every single day. And so then they get a bonus there. And too, again, with custom work, sometimes I screw things up over and over again. That's something I should say too, for people out there who want to do art or whatever, when it comes to commissioned or whatever, is don't be scared to screw up and do it over and over again. I don't know.
If you're afraid to screw up, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, we kind of in society today, it's either you pass or you fail. It's not try again. You don't get to try again on your tests in school, and that's what it should be. You should be try again. And if you want to try again after that, try again. Try again. Try again. Why not?
The worst thing that happens after doing it 5 times, you're going to learn the right answer to it.
Right.
You're gonna
Exactly.
Because you had to do it over and over.
Yep, that's how we learn. It's by making mistakes, right? How do you
You
learn
fail
to
when you
grow? By
quit.
making
That's
mistakes.
when you
right.
fail.
That's right. That's right.
One thing I learned being a dad, you don't realize things in life, but I've watched my son and my daughter try to learn how to do things over and over and over again. Like watching my son try to learn how to skate, to play hockey. Oh, Dad, I'm going to be the greatest hockey player ever. He says that stuff all the time. And watching him, All the other kids were taking baby steps on the ice, watching him skate as fast as he can and fall and fall and fall and fall. But you don't learn something in a day, ever. You work hard over and over and over again until you hope to master part of what you're learning on.
Yep.
One thing too, you learn the most when you're struggling, when it just beats you up. Like we have this thing where it's almost like we want to have this comfortable life, and it's like you don't grow in comfort. You know, I know it sucks to hear that, but we don't grow when we're comfortable.
It's true.
And
yeah,
you know, it takes abrasion, it takes resistance, it takes, you know, and it's hard to get over that at times. I have issues with that at times. I have one project right now that I need to get back to this week. I should have got back to it sooner, but like there's certain things where you get beat up over and over again. It's like you still got to get at it. You still got to get up. You still got to do it again. Some of the things I do, the mistakes are less costly than other things that I do. But yeah, just keep plugging away. And
Matt just made the comment on there. He said, education isn't cheap. And Matt, I'm telling you, I have a drawer full of some fairly nice material I tried to make cabinets out of that they're just sitting in the drawer. And you talk about a spendy education, but it is something that you have to do, like Ryan said, over and over until you get it right.
Yes.
And I've slapped more stones than I could possibly think of. And we've had everything you could think of go wrong with saws during that process learning, you know. And I consider myself quite the cutter now, and we still have mishaps. The other day we bent a blade 90
I was going to say, you lost a blade, didn't you?
Yeah, that crap just happens. You know what I mean? But you have to know how to overcome that quickly and just move on with it.
Well, in this case, you just buy a new blade.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? Quit slabbing?
No, I went and bought it and put it back on in 10 minutes and got that thing running again.
I do not in any way want to end the show. But I do think that because we do tell everybody it's an hour-long show, we can go over, but let's do our giveaway. So the weekly giveaway, I shared a photo earlier. Let me share it again.
Just that Suji.
That's going to be the giveaway. So, but before that, let me make me big. So we are all doing a great big giveaway for the very end of the season. And part of that is me and you guys raise your hand if you want to go next. But I'm going to show off what we're adding every episode. From here to the end of the season, I am adding something to my pile. So we're starting with this giant hunk. It is more than 5 pounds and less than 10. This is $10 pound honeycomb calcite. It is absolutely beautiful. It is from a mine here in Utah. In fact, honeycomb calcite was just voted Utah's state stone, and then the mine went out of business. So unfortunate for them. The second part of that every week, because we're adding to it, is this nice tumbled Indonesian coral. And then let's see, we also have this, it's like a unisex leather bag, but you can carry it across your chest while you're out rock hounding. And then I want you to see what this looks like polished. This is Murado Opal, right?
There's some purple.
So you're going to get a piece of the rough Murado Opal. And then on top of that, I am also adding into the pot a belt buckle that you can add your own stone to. Now, these are about $10, $15 on Amazon.
$10.99.
Oh, $10.99. There you go. So that is what I'm adding to the pot. Who wants to go next? Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah. Me and Andrew, I don't know how well it's going to show up, and it's not cut, but you can see a little bit of it here. This is a 10-plus pound chunk of the rarest tiger's eye in the world, Maramamba. We are going to be giving this away, Maramamba tiger eye. It's a little.
Can I enter the drawing?
Right? Yeah. No, I want to be in.
Yes.
The little
I
over
wish.
10 pounds. And this stuff is expensive. It is not mined anymore. It's from Mountain Brock, Australia. It's the rarest tiger's eye in the world. But like, if you get this, I probably wouldn't sell it. To be honest with you, it is getting impossible to find. For real, it's getting really hard.
Awesome, Ryan. Thank you. That's great. Anybody else want to go?
Yeah, I'm tired of my big head being.
If not,
Wait,
let me know.
You don't have to blow me up, Kirsten, because somebody left it in a.
I'm gonna make you big, big man.
Okay. I am going to be adding a sphere to the pile. I left it in my trailer that's all locked up, so I don't have it sitting out here today. But I will be throwing a sphere that I have made into the giveaway.
Oh, you are so awesome. That we are going to have the most amazing end of the season party, you guys. It is going to be great. Anybody else want to go? If not, we'll put Mark back in the center.
I am going to do something. I just have not determined yet what direction to go. I have so many ideas, and I thought about, on one hand, maybe I'd do a combination of pop sockets and cabs and some rough. I got some ideas, so I'm still deciding. It will be nice. I just haven't come right down and sat on it yet to tell you what it's
building the suspense.
Right?
I love it.
Yep, there you go. Mine's going to be that one thing that nobody knows until it's too late.
Oh, that is too funny. What are we looking at tonight, Ryan, for numbers?
It is 1 through 17.
All right, Mark, pick a number 1 through 17 for the lucky winner for our weekly giveaway.
1 through 17. Let's go with, let's see, 16.
16. Looks like Craven Ferrer.
Indio, you won,
Craven
Indio. Okay, so you know how to get a hold of me. I'm the one that holds the weekly drawing this week. So thank you, Courtney. She's not here. She had to go. But
guys, by the
Courtney
way,
is the one that donated the gifts tonight.
Sujilite is super rare. So hold on to that.
Congratulations.
For sure.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Let's get back to the show.
Woo. She disappears.
Goodbye.
She just wiggles her nose and she's like, "Wow, gone." Just gone. Okay.
So Matt, did you still have your question? We didn't get to it.
There we go.
We cut you off.
Yeah, we were talking about ice formations. Have you seen the bog and the boggy areas? Have you seen the ribbon formations of ice where it comes out of the ground and it's like curly Q and ribbons?
I haven't seen it curly Q, but I've seen it like crystallize and branch like trees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that I have seen in the boggy areas. There's certain areas that I go in that do not freeze over, even when it's 20 below. Like my foot will still go through. I've had it happen a couple times where, I've traveled in areas this winter where I'm like, yay, I can now access this. One of the things I was looking for was diamond willow, and on YouTube tutorials for finding it, it's basically like once the swamps freeze over, you can then look for it. But I found there's certain areas that you step through the snow and then your foot enters water, and I'm just like, oh man, like seriously? The one time I think it was like a 2-mile, I had to go 2 miles back before I even hit a road after I stepped through. But at least that day, I think it was like 15 degrees out, so it wasn't too bad. I haven't had it happen. Although after it happened twice this winter, I was like, okay, I'm going to stay away from the unknown areas on days where it's 10 below 15. I'm just going to avoid those areas, period, on days where it's super cold, because I don't want frostbitten toes or any of that. My goal is to, enrich myself, not hurt myself.
Yeah, I saw that in upstate New York. It was probably, 15, 20 below. And it was some pretty wild ribbons that came out of the ground. They were ice, Yeah, it's crazy.
I've been shocked this year. I've even just paying more attention, or I don't know. The one that surprised me most recently was I think it's called lattice ice. Somebody called it honeycomb ice on my Facebook, but it was like layers and layers of triangular formations. And it was just like I could grab it like I was grabbing a honeycomb and just tear it up and keep digging in it. And it was still forming in those geometric shapes. It was crazy.
Mhm.
You know, I've seen that on top of ice, but to be able to dig where it's just layers and layers of different shapes was really different. And how did that build? And that one was an interesting one. Anybody else got questions, or you just want me to rant about something?
I had one, Mark, when you were showing us the work that you were doing with the lighted stuff on the back of it.
Yeah.
I was thinking it looks like it has to be a pretty decent quality bone. There has to be some translucence there, which would tell me either high silica or calcite of some kind. What are you using? I mean, just really, what is the quality that you're looking at?
That is extremely high quality bone. That bone it's probably around 35% of it is colored cells, where it's nice yellow, some orange, but it has some natural colors in it. And then the other probably 65% was just clear cells. And so I colored those. The cells that did have some color naturally it was translucent enough to where when I ground it down super thin, they'll still show light through once you charge it from the back. It'll probably take a charge from the front to some extent too, even though it's trying to penetrate that color.
I wondered about that. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a process because I cut the bone super thin, so it's got to be really strong bone to begin with. If it's calcified and stuff, like, it's not going to hold together for me to get it this thin as I need it before I even attach the cap. Once the cap goes on it, I then take it down even thinner than that. So like then I grind it even more to get even, get that bone super thin so that you can see through it, but you still want to be able to see the trabeculi, the anatomy of the bone, because you can grind it so thin that basically there's little spots here and there, and then it's too thin. So it's really high quality bone. So I have extremely translucent cells to begin with in areas.
Well, and the caps that you're using, are you using actual glass or are you using optical quartz?
That one's sapphire. That one's a giant sapphire cap. It's like they're like $500, $600.
Yeah. It's expensive.
Better know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Start on it.
Hey guys, I don't want to cut any of y'all off. Mark, thank you so much for coming, dude. I gotta take off. Thank you, Raccoons.
Good seeing you,
everyone. This was an amazing show. I had a lot of fun. I hope you know how inspirational that you are to everyone, even myself and Andrew all the time, man. Like
thank you. I
was
appreciate
watching
it.
your walking videos, and I was like, dude, we need to do something different, and we did. And I don't know.
Nice.
We started doing keto right around the time you started walking, and me and Andrew lost 100 pounds each, man.
Nice.
So,
keto also clears your headspace.
It does, yeah. My
it's
brain
crazy.
feels really active, but I want you to know you're inspirational to people. You and Cheerston, watching all the change she went through, and we've done a lot.
Awesome.
I want you to know that we appreciate you. Your art, your knowledge.
I appreciate you too.
All right, man. Thank you guys so much. Later, Raccoons.
Ryan.
We'll see you guys
Take
next
it easy.
time. Bye.
Bye, Ryan.
Bye.
Bye.
I love that you are so open to sharing everything that you know, because I'm kind of the same way. When I learn a new thing, I love to share it with everybody, and you inspire me to keep going, Mark. You have taught me a lot, and I just want you to know that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to view what I've put out. I appreciate that as well.
So I know we're getting ready to wind down, but I think there's a question. Jaws Jr. asked that would be a really good one to finish this. Would that process work with thinly cut agate, like a banded agate?
Yes, I've done it with Laguna. I did a Laguna and I put lapis behind it for a client, and I capped it with capped it with optical quartz, natural quartz, and it looked like the craziest Laguna agate pendant ever. Like
That's awesome.
It was funny because he brought up the idea, and I was like, well, sure, I'll do it. And at one point, when I had the Laguna thinned out and everything, I threw it up in the light, and I'm like, this does have a little bit of iris, just so you know, before we move further. If you want to keep going this direction, we will. Just wanted you to be aware. I discovered that when I got it this thin. So, and then he's like, nope, keep going. Now my brain thinks back, and I'm like, ooh, what if I would have cut out that area of the lapis that surrounded the area that had the, iris area? That would have been cool. So now my brain's going, hey, I could find another iris agate and do that. So that's another thing, when I, Churston, and when you share information, and I think this is something that a lot of people don't realize, when you talk amongst people about and share information, new ideas come to your brain. And that's the thing with a lot of this stuff. When you share, it's like, I think we enter this headspace where, oh no, I can't share this idea. It's so great. And don't get me wrong, I understand that there's certain things and certain people. You eventually realize your circle of people who build you up and the circle of people who tear you down. And share with the people that build you up. Share with the people that support you. Share with the people that are there for you. Eventually, you'll start to spot the takers and be like, okay, I'm limiting my time there. Whenever I visit them, I don't feel good when I leave that conversation or that, presence. Do you enter a conversation with somebody and you feel charged after you leave that conversation? If you're somebody who loves to share, think about that, because you're going to help yourself grow. You're going to help others grow if you do things that charge you and share with people that charge you. And I'm not saying cut those other people out completely. If you need to, go ahead, but limit your time. Give them, okay, well, if it's a relative, especially, you can be like, okay, well, I'm only going to give my brother 5 minutes today. He's in a headspace where I can't, I have my own thing I got to do. I love him, but this is where we're going to go today. So, value your time. And I'm not saying you need to, I don't know. I've been pretty free with my time in certain ways, and I'm kind of bringing some of that back. I think cutting out Instagram and Facebook recently has kind of made me aware of how much social media sits in my head, even when I'm not on the app. You get comments, you get this, right. And it's like, for me, somebody that wants to help people, somebody asks a certain question, and then my head goes to, should I make a video of that? Should I do something to help that person with that? And I do sometimes. And it's like cutting that out, I for me, especially with Facebook, for some reason, Facebook, there's a lot of, like I said, when it comes to Facebook, there's a lot of negative stuff on there where it seems like Facebook pushes a lot of negativity. I don't feel as good when I leave Facebook as I do when I leave TikTok. And I know TikTok follows what you follow, so maybe it's just my personality that brings certain things to there where it's like up higher energy, be more positive, whatever. But that fills a void that's different than what Facebook fills. And I know certain relatives and stuff have had really issues where they had friends and they no longer are friends after Facebook. And it's like, I just see a lot of division when it comes to certain things, and it's like people are forgetting that there's snow outside, and what is what actually connects us in nature and life versus the bullshit, like I said, the echo chamber of negativity that separates us, instead of hey, we can both share bread, hey, we can share a drink or whatever, that and share some stories that have to do with rocks. What fossil do you have that's recent? What cool agate have you found? Whether it's online or in person? What crystal? What art are you doing, Churston? What new? You play around with a lot of stuff. I think that's awesome. I love playing around with different medias. That's something that I have always been interested in. I've had people tell me, no, stick with one thing. That's not me. I found that if I do that, I'm bored and I don't thrive. I need variety. I need to grow. I need to struggle. I need to struggle with that new thing that I want to do now. And I can still do the thing on the side. I can rotate my workload. And yeah.
And we're having a great time here. We're into an hour and 20 minutes now. And I know for one, I have to get up at 5 a.m. So it's something that I'm going to have to end for me here pretty quick. But before I go, I want to remind everybody about our Rock Talk stickers that we have. We sell these for $2 a piece, or if you buy 10 or more of them, they're $1.75 each. Or you can order something from one of us, and we will put one in your package when we put it together. Awesome. One other thing before I leave as well. You should go, if you have a child, everybody come visit us anyway, but especially if you have a child who has autism, school aged on an IEP, go and join Rock Tumblers for Autism. We are actually getting ready this weekend or the first of the week to draw 2 names of kids who will be receiving a brand new Lortone rock tumbler that we have raised the funds to give away, and that's what we do.
I'm so excited about that. That's awesome, Dave.
I know
Thank
we haven't
you.
got to give one away in a couple of months now, so this is fantastic. This will be number 29 and
Absolutely.
number 30.
Nice.
I love it. I love it so much. Okay, awesome, you guys. Thank you for joining us. Mark, you have been amazing. And usually when we end the show, we have a lot more of our co-hosts with us. But for some reason tonight,
We've
we
kicked
don't.
off one at a time.
And yeah, we're going to go ahead and start with you, Dave. Go ahead, Dave, and give us your final comments for the night.
All right, final comments. If you're out there and you want to know how to do any of this, go catch Mark's videos. Go study them. I know a lot of people who have, including Kirsten and I. You want to learn how to hexstall. You want to learn how to work the bone, anything you want to do. And he doesn't do just bone. He has other stuff he does too, but he does a phenomenal job. Go watch Mark's videos. And if you're feeling really like stepping out, get a hold of him and buy one of his pieces. I know people who have done that as well. And then we're looking forward to seeing everybody on the Rock Tumblers for Autism.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Thank
Wonderful.
you. Thank you so much,
you, Dave.
Okay, go ahead, Mark. We'll let you go next.
Thank you, everyone, for giving us some of your time. And
Sorry, Matt. Oh, Mark. I didn't mean for you. Brain fart. Okay, Matt, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He does have some great videos, a lot of great videos. Mark is an open book, you know. I didn't start cutting or doing any lapidary until December, January, late December, early January. And Mark was very helpful and you know, super inspirational guy, super talented guy. If you got any quirky questions about, you know, how does this work or how does that work, you know, the guy is totally willing and knowledgeable enough to be able to lend you a hand. So, Mark, I appreciate you.
appreciate you too, Matt.
Personally and as an artist. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matt. I'm sorry, Mark. I apologize.
That's okay.
Final comments. Let's hear them. No? Nothing? You got nothing? Oh, thank you guys in the comments. I appreciate you.
All right. Everybody's falling asleep now. Bedtime. Well, thank you again, Kirsten, for having me again on Rock Talk. I appreciate it.
Thank you for always getting my name right.
I love how always I screw things up from time to time.
Oh my goodness.
I
You
do my
guys
best,
are
though.
amazing. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Appreciate you.
Be sure to follow Mark on TikTok. If you follow him on Facebook, when are you going to come back?
end of a lot. Like I'll be back next month, but how I'm going to move forward on there. Right now I'm leaning towards dropping the dinosaur group period and being done with that, and like giving Facebook and stuff a lot less time. Like this has kind of been an eye opener for me. Period. You know, I was worried about sales and stuff because I do make sales on Facebook, but you know, the more I've thought about it, it's like I've always made sales no matter what site I've been on. It hasn't really mattered. And don't get me wrong, obviously when you enter a new site, you have to grow and everything, and you know, but I also have a base that has followed me wherever I've been, you know, and the dedicated clients will find me, or they'll already know where I am. So I don't think I have as much to worry about when it comes to that. And like I said, when it comes to our headspace and where we give our time and energy, you know, the companies we support, you know, I think that's important. I try to tell my daughter, you know, I'm not going to support a chocolate company that does horrible things, or Nestle that eats up water supplies of communities and basically then sells it back to them. There's certain things that I will not do. And I just think that more humanity and less like corporate interests is where things need to go. And again, like with social media too, like I don't like monopolies. Monopolies are what make everything weaker. You know, the too big to fail is bullshit.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think it is bullshit. So on that note, thank you. And we will see you again, hopefully next season. And until then, Mark, you're awesome. All of the links are in the bio, you guys, to go check him out. And have a nice night. Thank you, Mark. Oh my gosh, you guys, what a great show. This was awesome. And I'm so excited that you were here for it. And until next time, keep on rockin'. Thank you again. Thank you for being here.
Great show, guys. Let's go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. See you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.